Seattle Colleges is a district of 3 public community colleges. We have about 35,000 students enrolled in our schools, including about 1,100 international students. So we're known for being very diverse schools with a lot of international students. And as a community colleges, we offer great programs, great education at a much cheaper price. So one of the benefits, of course, is to save money by enrolling in college. But it goes way beyond that. So of course, we offer great support services. What's unique about us is that we are the only colleges in Seattle. So if students want to have not only a great education, but a great social life and a great experience, living and studying in America, Seattle is a great place for that. So we have currently 80 students from Mongolia. I've been coming to Mongolia now for over 10 years, and we are very happy to see lots of Mongolian students coming to our school. So we hope to see more, and it's a great opportunity to be here once again for everybody.
Thank you. You said 18 students are 18?
80.
Oh, wow.
80, yeah.
In the Manila population, because Manila population is just approximately 2.5 million. And you mentioned about community college. So when I do individual advising or group advising, the students always ask me full ride, 100% scholarship. And so community college's advantage is you mentioned that a much cheaper tuition fee is much cheaper than other universities.
Correct.
And to pass to could you please more about advantage of community colleges?
Sure.
Straight.
Yes, so by design, community colleges are meant to be cheaper. So the U.S. government wants to make sure that all students, as much as possible, have an opportunity to continue studying after high school. So by design, community colleges are meant to be cheaper options. So the quality of the education, the standard of the education is the same as the university. You literally study the same classes, follow the same requirements as you would at the university, but you get to do so with a much cheaper price. So obviously for international students, it's a great benefit. Our yearly tuition is only $11,300 per year. So it's still expensive, of course. It's American higher ed, but a much reasonable price compared to most universities. And we do offer scholarships. It's not full scholarships, but it's up to $6,500 per year. So it's a great way to reduce that yearly tuition by more than half. So between the cheaper costs of tuition, the scholarship opportunities we have, of course the opportunity to work on campus, and via OPT, I feel like with all of that combined, you can definitely have a great study abroad experience with a reasonable cost.
Great. And what's the requirement of so students when they apply to the scholarships? You said $6,000 or something like $6,000. So what's the requirement?
That's very important. Yeah.
To
So
apply to that scholarship.
yeah. So it's a separate process, from the school application. And so every year in January and February, all future students can apply for our foundation scholarships. Again, like you said, it's up to $6,500. It's mostly a merit-based scholarship. So they're going to be looking at 3 things. One is your academic transcripts. So if you're in high school, it's going to be your high school transcripts. If you happen to be already at the university, that might be your university transcripts. But they're going to look at your GPA and how well you're doing in school. The minimum GPA to qualify is a 2.5 GPA, but of course the higher your GPA, the higher chances you have. Second thing they're going to look at is either 2 or 3 personal statements. So when you apply for the scholarship, they will give you a couple questions, and then you have to write, kind of a short answer to those. And then finally, the third thing is a CV or resume with all your extracurricular activities. So as you know, in America, schools care very much about students being active and involved in the community and all of that. So in our scholarships, we also ask for students to be very much involved. So your CV and your resume is a chance for you to list all the extra things that you do at school or outside the school. So whether it be sports or arts or work experience or volunteer experience, you can list all of that on your CV or resume. So if you have an IELTS score or SAT score, that's great. Put it on your resume. That will definitely help you to get a scholarship. So last year, we had about $2.7 million in total to give out as scholarships to students. About 650 students received an award, and the average award was around $5,000. So again, it's a chance for international students from Mongolia to get a big chunk of money and lower the cost even more.
So thank you for the excellent information. So how can students, you mentioned about personal statement, yes, how can students make their application, especially their personal statements, stand out to the application scheme and also the CV, resume, would you please share it?
Sure. So I would say, nowadays with AI, it would be easy to just use those tools to write something. And so my first advice would be to try to limit how much AI you're using. Because, if it's something that's not really personal, whoever reviews your personal statements will see that right away. And they will know that it's something written by AI. So you can use AI to give you yourself some ideas, to find out, how to approach the question, and maybe to help you a little bit in the beginning. But make sure that you're the one actually writing the answer. So make it personal, provide a lot of details, and schools want to know more about you. This is your chance to introduce yourself to the school and let the school know, why you chose to go to that school and how this particular award will help you achieve your goal at that school. So make it personal, provide lots of details, and really talk about yourself and your goals and your plans. And so if you do that, of course that's not easy, but if you do all that, I think they'll kind of feel like they know you a little bit better, and they'll want to help you by giving you a scholarship. So there's nothing worse, I've been on a scholarship committee, and so, you read a lot of scholarship applications, and, if they all sound the same, it's not a good sign, right? So if you all use AI, you're all going to sound the same in your personal statements, and so you really have to make it personal. So try to find something unique about yourself, or kind of a different way to talk about yourself, and I think that will make it, stand out, for sure.
So you are the scholarship admissions team. So my question is, which student did the institution give the scholarships, or kind of says they written, or did you interview them or not?
So we do not do interviews. It's all based on the documents that you provide. And so again, because we don't do interviews, your personal statement and your CV and your resume is your way of kind of sharing, who you are. And so again, make it personal, provide lots of
Any
details.
specific example, which is not?
No, not really. Because every student is different, so it's not so much about using this trick. It's again, make it about yourself and provide details about who you are. Every student is different. You have different goals, different backgrounds. This is mostly a merit scholarship, but of course you can talk about financial need. So being an international student, the cost is high. Coming from Mongolia, of course, it's a big investment. So you can mention, how good it would be to get a scholarship, and so that can be part of it too. But focus on the academics, focus on your goals and your plan, and how the school can help you achieve those goals. We want to feel good about giving you money. So, and just for the record, I'm no longer on the scholarship committee, but I used to be. So I'm not involved in the decision making. We want to get an idea of who the student is. That's really the key.
You have experience.
Yes.
But now you are associate director of marketing and
Correct.
international programs at Self Colleges. So now you previously mentioned about OPT.
opportunity to do an internship once you graduate from the college. And one of the benefits of going to a community college compared to going to a university is that if you go to a community college, you get the chance to do 2 OPTs. You get a chance to do the first OPT after the graduation from the college, and then again after graduating from the university after the 4th year. So already you're doubling your work experience, your work opportunity by going to a community college. So OPT, yes, it's usually 1 year. You can work anywhere in the United States. The only requirement is that you need to find a job that relates to your major. So, if you're learning about business, finding a job that has to do maybe with business development or marketing or sales, but you cannot work in something that's not directly related to your major. So it's meant to be a complement, a practical component, a complement to what you learn in school. So you study for 2 years at the college, and then after that you can do a 1 year OPT. And it's a great opportunity to continue practicing English in a work environment, learning some practical skills in your field, and of course make money. So during OPT, students are technically still enrolled in school, but they do not have to pay tuition. So for 1 year, parents get a break from having to pay tuition, and students, if they're working in the US, they will make enough money to cover their own expenses. So you become a little bit more independent, you're helping your parents with the cost, and you're getting some great experience, working in America. So definitely recommend.
Yeah, if the students choose STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the OPT is more than 1 year, right?
So after the bachelor's degree, yes, if you're in a STEM major, you will first do a 1 year OPT, and then you can ask for an extension for another 2 years, which will make the OPT 3 years total. So that's another great opportunity for all the students looking to do STEM majors. You can do possibly 4 years of work experience, 1 year after the associate degree, and then 3 years after the bachelor's degree. So.
And I think I mentioned that also when students choose to study at community college and they graduate from community college, they will receive associate degree.
After 2
Yeah,
years.
after 2 years. So, what are some of the most popular or distinctive academic programs that several colleges offer to the students, and are there any particular majors or fields where several colleges have strong national recognition, not national, just the state recognition or unique approach?
Yeah, so as a community college, we do not really specialize in something specific that way, but we can prepare students for all majors. I would say most popular for 2+2 transfer is of course business and all the fields related to business. So economics, finance, accounting, any of these are quite popular. Number 2, engineering, definitely. So all specialties of engineering, electrical, mechanical, civil engineering, any of those is quite popular with international students. And then 3, in Seattle, we're known for being a technology hub in the US. We have lots of big tech companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing, Starbucks, Nintendo, and Adobe, and Google, and Facebook. They all have offices in Seattle. So Seattle is kind of known for computer science and IT for sure. So that's for 2+2 transfer. And then we have our career training programs, which are more hands-on programs to really prepare students for a specific career. And for those, I would say, early childhood education, hospitality, culinary and hospitality programs, and then nursing are quite popular. And then our South Campus has an aviation maintenance program that is quite unique and FAA approved. So students, when they graduate from this program, they become certified by the federal aeronautical administration. So,
Wow. So your institution have AI, artificial intelligence class?
yeah, so that's part of computer science. So in every computer science class, of course, they They teach about AI, they use AI tools. So that's kind of ingrained in the computer science classes. So we do not have an AI class per se, but of course they teach about AI and they use AI tools in every one of the computer science courses. You have to know this. So, yes.
So this question is related to support for Indonesia students.
Mhm.
So are there any services like academic advising, career coaching, English language assistance, or English language preparation program available to help Indonesian students succeed?
Yeah, of course, it's really, really important. If you will welcome international students into your school, you need to have support services for them. So, in our schools, we've been doing this for a long time, for more than 30 years. So, we have a great infrastructure in place to support students. So, we have international programs offices on each one of our campuses. We have front desk staff. Some of our international students also work at the front desk, helping us welcoming students and directing them to the right person. We have, of course, academic advisors, and they also deal with immigration questions or work-related questions. We also have counselors and career advisors. So pretty much, taking care of anything that could happen and all the needs of the students while they study with us. So we have transfer fair, career fairs, networking fairs. So we do a lot to help students either transfer to the university or find internship or jobs.
Great. So self-employed support Indonesian students academically and socially is very important about that. And next question is about the campus life and location. So what is the student life like at such colleges? What kind of clubs, activities, or student organizations can not only enroll students and Indonesian students can join, and several colleges have, you mentioned, have multiple campuses, right? 3 campuses. Could you please describe them and share what makes each one unique?
Okay.
And how do students take advantage of studying in Seattle colleges in terms of culture, networking, or professional experience?
Okay. So first about activities and social life. So of course, at the school we have lots of different activities and clubs. Anywhere between 30 to 50 different clubs on campus, typically. The clubs are managed by the students themselves. So, it really depends on how active the students want to be. And so, new international students, when they come, initially they will look for clubs that already exist. So it can be anything from a business club to a soccer club, a basketball club, or a volunteering club of some sort. We do have Mongolian student associations. And so students can kind of join those, make friends that way. But again, they can join as many clubs as they would like. We also have lectures and movies and activities like sports activities, or sometimes we have parties like for Halloween. Today is, everyone is gearing up for Halloween. They're gonna have a big party with the DJ at the school. So all the international students will be, of course, invited to join and have a good time all together. So you can definitely have a great social life at school using all the activities and clubs. But what makes Seattle colleges unique is our location in Seattle. And so our students also have access to everything that the city has to offer. So museums, concerts, sports events. We have professional baseball teams, soccer teams. Our baseball team was pretty much in the playoffs, competing almost for the championship. So there's lots of events happening in Seattle, and so sky's the limit. If you want to be super busy and do a ton of stuff, you can definitely find a lot of options. And then the 3 campuses. So that's something unique about Seattle colleges. Typically, school have 1 campus. So we have 3 schools, 3 campuses. All 3 campuses are in Seattle, so no matter what, you will be in the city and you'll get to enjoy the city life, easy access to coffee, restaurant, shopping, and everything else. But depending on the location of the campus, you get a little bit more of the downtown vibe or not. So we have 1 campus that is 5 minutes away from downtown. So if you like the city life, that might be a very good option for you. We have our North Campus. It's about 15 minutes from downtown by subway. so still easily connected with downtown, but already it's a suburban environment. And then finally, we have our South Campus, 30 minutes south of downtown by bus. And that campus is located in a residential area, so a very peaceful environment with a lot of green spaces. And so great for students who are looking for something a bit more quiet, but still with easy access to the city. So, the good thing is that, because it's the same district, students, if they're doing 2+2, they can always change their campus later on. So if for some reason, they want to switch their campus, maybe because they have friends at the other campus, or maybe because they find a new housing closer to the other campus, they can always switch their campus, and they just need to talk to the advisor to do that. So it's pretty simple.
It's a great opportunity for students and switching the campuses. The next question is, you mentioned Mongolia students initiated Mongolian Student Association, right? So have you ever met Mongolian students who are studying in several colleges? Do you have any memorable memory to share with us?
Of course.
Very funny memories?
Yeah. So my job is mostly to help students, before they arrive in school. So that's why I come to UB and visit my schools here locally. But of course, we love to hear stories of students. So we try to attend orientation if we can, if we're in Seattle at the time, to of course welcome students. And then after that, they work with advisors more, but we are always, my office is based on the campus, so, they might see me in the hallway, or we might see the students at some of the events. And so, yes, we of course try to stay in touch. We do our own podcast.
Oh, nice.
And so we have interviewed, many Mongolian students in the last couple of years. Last week we just posted an episode actually with one of our Mongolian students, so I can maybe share that link with you later. And so we definitely love to stay in touch with our students and make sure that they have a good experience, make sure that there are no issues, and hopefully all the way to graduation. And we love to hear stories about where they're going after us, because obviously a lot of students want to transfer, so we want to find out where they're going to be going, what their major will be and all of that. So yeah, one story, so we have an event in end of May called Unity Fair, and it's an event where all the students come together to have a fun time, kind of to celebrate the end of the school year a little bit. And so typically the clubs will have a booth or a table, and then they'll do activities of some sort. But the Mongolian Student Association, they were writing people's names in Mongolian scripts. So in my office, I have my name written in the Mongolian script. So it's one of the fun memories I have about connecting with that club and those students. So yeah, it's always fun experience, and we want students to be able to interact with one another and learn from each other. And very few people in the U.S. would know about Mongolia. Not too many people come to Mongolia, so we want our Mongolian students to kind of educate people about Mongolia and maybe teach them about Mongolian culture and Mongolian food and clothing and all of that. So this is our chance to have students come together and teach each other about their own culture. So very happy to do that.
I'm so proud of them because Mongolian students, they became a cultural ambassador and presenting their home country, Mongolia. And Mongolia, we have very own beautiful vertical script, which is the only one in the world, and I'm happy that they put you on the Mongolian script, right?
Sure, yeah.
Great. So next question is, what advice would you give to Mongolian students preparing to apply to several colleges? What are some common mistakes that students should avoid during the application process? Of course, don't use ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and whatever else.
Yeah, so applying to a community college is a lot easier than applying to a university. So if you look at my requirements on our website, a lot of students will be maybe surprised to see that we do not require recommendation letters or personal statements. We do not require SAT scores. So students can use their SAT results as their proof of English and maybe math proficiency, but SAT in itself is not required. So applying to a community college is a little bit easier, or a lot easier actually, than applying to most universities. But that their English scores are, ready to be shared. So if you do not already have maybe IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo results or SAT English results, you'll need to prepare for a test. And you can pick the test that you want. We accept, all the tests that I mentioned. So if you want to start with Duolingo, you can start there because maybe it's a little cheaper. If you, prefer to do the IELTS, do that. That's great. So that's probably the most important thing for us is making sure that students, take the time to do the English tests because that's how we place them into an initial program or initial level. We do have an Institute of English, so based on the results will determine whether you need to start in the Institute of English or whether you can start in the college directly. So taking the time to really prepare for that test. So my advice would be, start with a mock test or a free practice test, and then go from there. If you need to practice a little bit more, then take the time to do that. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. You just do the online application. That takes, maybe half an hour if you have all the documents. So that's not really complicated. I would say my best advice would be to not wait until the last minute. So try to plan early, try to apply to the community college at least 3 or 4 months in advance. We have late deadlines, but just because we have late deadlines doesn't mean that you should wait until the last minute. So you can already apply today for the fall intake. If you're interested in going to the college next year, it's already open. You can already apply today until August, but I would say at best try to apply before the end of June, because that way you have a few months for your visa interview and finding new housing and all of that. So yeah, apply early, start the process early.
When is the deadline for your application?
So we have 4 intakes every year. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Of course, fall, September intake is the biggest, but we do accept students every 3 months. So typically for the fall intake, you have until August 25th of that year to apply. If you come in January, you have until November 25th to apply. If you come in April, you have until February 25th. And if you come in June or early July, you have until May 25th to apply. So roughly a month and a half before the start of class, that's when the deadline is typically set.
Your students can apply through Common App or they apply in your application or website.
Yeah, so we have our own online admission application on our website. We do not use the Common App. It's going to be similar to the Common App, though. So our online application, it's like a questionnaire where you indicate, you enter all your information, then you enter, the program you want to do, and then at the end you are being asked to pay the application fee, which is $50, and then you are being asked to upload all your documents. So your copy of your passport photo page, your proof of finances, your proof of English level, and then if you are an underage student, meaning 16 or 17 years old, grade 10 or grade 11, or grade 12 and still not finished with high school, you will need to upload your high school transcripts as well. So,
Does this colleges offer fee waiver when they apply to your institution?
typically, no. Students have to pay the $50, but for certain events we do. So, if you happen to find an event where we attend in person, come talk to us and we can probably give you a waiver. So, yeah. Otherwise, it's a $50 application fee, and that's the only thing you need to pay to the school upfront. So you'll pay $50 to us initially, then you'll pay for your visa interview. That goes to the U.S. government, obviously, that not to us. And then if you get your visa, then you can make your payment for the first quarter of your school, so first 3 months of class. So you don't have to pay because we use a quarter system. Students do not need to pay their tuition for the whole year. It's kind of like a payment plan if you want. Every 3 months you pay for 3 months of school.
When students they graduate after
they can really apply to any university they want. You know. Yeah, so really it's up to students to decide where they want to go. A lot of it will depend, of course, on their grades, on their GPA at the college. So if your hope is to go to a top ranking university, that is definitely possible. Top 50, top 100, that happens pretty regularly. As long as you have good grades at the college. So study hard at the college, get a good GPA, get involved with extracurricular activities so you have a good CV or resume. And then you have a very strong chance to transfer to top ranking universities. At Seattle Colleges, our #1 transfer university is the University of Washington. That's the top public university in our state. It's a top 10 public university in the country. And in some rankings, it's like top 50 in the world. So, rankings, you always have to take it on with a grain of salt, but obviously it's a great quality school. That's where we try